on different things that the speaker did to make it impactful. So like Amy said, file folders. Start accumulating talks. Number 2, the next key is a positive attitude. Most of you already have it, that's why you were successful representatives. Smile a lot, right? Fake it till you make it. It's important when you're a manager. Act as if. Anyone ever heard that? Act as if. The best way to become a manager is to act like you're already a manager. Become confident. Start walking around with a little bit of bounce in your step. Start walking around with a little strut. Walk around your school knowing how far ahead you're going to be 1 year from now than everybody else who's walking around that campus. I used to do that. When I was at Penn State, I would be, going around, and I used to see this sea of people. Anybody else in a big school, right? I used to see this sea of people. And when I was going through management training, I just thought to myself, and it was such an empowering, confident feeling. It was, these people have no idea how far ahead I'm going to be in 1 year because of what I'm about to do, what I'm studying for right now. I'm taking steps that 99% of these other people, no matter what their GPA is, I know that I'm going to be further ahead in the pack, and I know I'm going to be accepted in an interview way before most of these other people because of the decisions I'm about to make in the next 8 months. It's awesome. Light years beyond your peers. There will be obstacles, and management training will not always be easy. You have to realize that. And you have to embrace that fact. You will be a stronger manager because of all the obstacles that you are capable of dealing with now. Next key is balance. I've been asked to give this talk several times over the last few years, and Stacy gave a really great intro of me. I feel like it's funny, like that stuff happened 9 years ago, like eight or 9 years ago. And that's still sometimes how people introduce me, because people admire when you have a lot on your plate and are still able to be successful in different things. And that's cool. That's really cool to still be recognized for something you did like 8 or 9 years ago, right? It's pretty neat. Because I did a good job of balancing my branch training with school. That's why I was recognized for that. It's pretty cool. How much can you take onto your plate and still be a top-notch manager next summer? How to balance? Well, time management. Have a weekly planner. Have a weekly planner. Plug in your commitments. I used to have different categories, PMF, PMFVS, right? And it was just all different stuff. P was physical, so I would do one thing physical every day, whether it was play tennis or go to the gym or whatever, right? M was mental, so I would read at least 10 minutes a day in a personal growth book or a management book or a professional development book. F was family. I would call at least one person every single day from my family, whether it was a cousin, an aunt, or an uncle, or grandma, or mom, or dad, or brothers. I would do at least one of those things every single day. N was miscellaneous, so haircut, post office, things like that. S was school. Study, homework, go to class, whatever. And I would have boxes every single day. If you saw my planner from school, that's what it would look like. You would see boxes. And every single day, you would see a check mark in every single one of those boxes next to each of those letters at the end of every day. I got to tell you, when you can put a check mark in each of those boxes at the end of every single day, you feel pretty darn good putting your head on the pillow at night. There is plenty of time for school and vector if you admit it to yourself. By the way, sometimes parents want their kids to concentrate on just school and their grades. Has anybody run into that yet? Yeah? Okay. Here's why. They want you to be successful. Is there a problem with that? No, I think that's great. They say what? Don't work. Or you're working too hard, you should concentrate on school. Here's why. They grew up in an era where your school and your grades was what helped you get a job. That is no longer true. So it's not that they don't have your best interest at heart, it's just that that's the way they grew up. Study hard, get a good GPA, you'll have options. That's not true anymore. These days, if you just study hard, get a good GPA, just like Adam was saying, and you don't take on other things outside of school, you will not have options. And you can look at the unemployment rate. You can look at how many of you have friends who graduated with good GPAs from good schools that are still job searching or bouncing around from, like, you know, mediocre jobs that they're not real fired up about, right? So that fact is not true anymore. So your work experience outside of school and your work with Vector in the next 2 semesters is just as important, if not more important, than what GPA you get. Now, I'm not saying that you can't have both, right? You can. But make sure that you're not only concentrating on one part of your life in terms of growth. To be honest, I partied more that year that I got 2 4.0s and studied for this and was class proud. I partied more that year than any other year. I had more fun because I had fun planned into my schedule. I literally wrote fun time into my schedule. How many of you ever had guilty fun? What's guilty fun? Guilty fun is when you're having fun, but you're not really having fun because you know that there's other things you should be doing instead. How many of you have ever felt that way, right? It's hard to let loose and really have fun when you know what, when you're not good at time management. But when everything has a what? When everything has a place in your schedule, you don't have to have guilty fun. Because when you're having fun, that's what you were supposed to be doing at that time. It was in your schedule. But everything else has a time and a place when that's going to get done too, so you're not bogged down with 20 things on your to-do list. The more things you can take off the to-do list in your head and put it onto paper, the less stressed you become. It's funny, sometimes the people who have the most things going on are the least stressed out of everybody because they're just good at planning. Number 4 is start having management goals. Start having management goals. Find out what you need to know. Your manager has a list of things that you should be able to get good at by next summer. How many things can you knock out in the next month? Right? Sometimes you know what you know and you know what you don't know, but sometimes you don't know what you don't know. Well, the first key to management is what? Find out what you don't know so that you can start getting good at that too. And start asking a lot more questions. Start dreaming about your team. What could your team name be? What could your team chant be? You're being awarded the trophy in front of a push week. Your team just cranked it for 2 weeks. You're getting a standing ovation from a sea of people all chanting your name and clapping, and you just can't stop smiling ear to ear. I'll tell you what, that feeling is why it's worth it to work hard over the next several months. What types of people will be on your team? What types of attitudes will they have? What types of personalities will you attract to your organization? How will your people carry themselves? Will they be the team that's super professional? Will they be the team that has the most fun? Will they be the team that sells the most cacao? It will be all of those things. What will your office look like? What kind of posters or pictures might you have on the wall? You have all year to be specific about your goals and CPO and number of recruits that you want and things like that. You have all year to work on that stuff. For now, just have fun dreaming about it and how it will feel when your team takes the #1 trophy. Number 5 is persistence. Keep plugging away. You know, Adam was right. He said, the people who stick it out, you got a lot of really smart, intelligent, fun, positive people in this company. And the higher up you climb, the more fun it becomes. Because it's really the most fun and the most positive, and, right? It's awesome. Keep plugging away. Keep getting recognized. Be a leader in your office. PDI yourself on a negative day. Has anybody ever done that yet? Yeah, you know what I mean by that? PDI yourself? Here's what I used to do. I used to have a, PC yourself, thank you, all right? PC yourself, PDI yourself, right? You wake up, you're having a crappy day. Well, think of it like this. When one of your representatives next summer has the same thing happen to them, how would you coach them? And think about that, and then turn it around and say, okay, snap out of it, Wes. Get back on track, right? So in other words,